Last time on the 20-Sided Realms, you see a fellow gnome in a bright blue conical hat. Hello. My name is Sven von Studebaker. It is a pleasure to meet you. Oh dear, things have been going horribly lately. I must be on. I have to find someone who can help us with this terrible problem. Our scarecrows, they have come to life. Something must be done.
That sounds absolutely terrifying.
Every minute we waste, more of our crops are destroyed.
Okay, well, I think I can go and help then. I'm not worried.
Welcome back to the 20-Sided Realms. Let's play Dungeons & Dragons. The scene opens with our party being led by Sven von Studenbaker, a middle-aged gnome who has asked for their help, and the party has agreed. You exit the gates of Waterdeep and start traveling very shortly down the road until you see off to the west a bustling gnomish community. The tiny little houses and fields are coming into view. And as you take a little winding path off the main road, you are first greeted by a most peculiar sight. There is a wagon that is crossing a trail heading towards this community. And the wagon itself, although gnomish in size, is quite nondescript. Its cargo appears to be some sort of smelly sludge, which different, but still not that out of the ordinary. The driver is a striking gnome with a bald head.
No hat?
Yes, no hat.
Oh.
Most definitely a gnome who once resided in the Underdark, a deep gnome, a Serb Finelli, if you will, is at the helm of this wagon. But the thing that I believe is what catches all of your eyes are the beasts of burden that are pulling this wagon. For they are not donkeys, nay. They are not horses, nay. They are two massive giant slugs.
Oh, okay.
As this wagon gets closer to your passage, Sven, he waves his hand and says, hello, Burble.
Hey, Sven, how's it going?
Oh, it's good. I have great news. I went into town and I met these fine adventurers who are going to help us with our scarecrow problem.
Oh, that's wonderful, Sven. They look awfully kind.
Yes, and look at one of them is one of us.
I'm like waving wildly, and the entire time that we've come up on this gathering of gnomes, my eyes have been 2 sizes bigger just looking at everybody.
Oi, look at the hat on that one, Sven.
It's quite dashing.
Yeah. Thank you. I take very good care of it. I'm very proud of my hat.
Where'd you get it? I want one just like it.
Oh, from my understanding, you were supposed to be given one at birth by your family. Are you? Maybe it's different where you're from. You can make one.
We don't really need hats down there, so this is awkward. I never met my mom.
Oh,
so,
we don't have to get into this. We just met. I'm so sorry.
Well, anyway, so you guys want to get some of these scarecrows out of our dang fields? That's wonderful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're here to help, man. Anything to help the people that feed this wonderful city. You know, I've probably had your guys's your guys' crops in my kitchen. You know,
Oh, we
so
don't
in some way
mostly.
we're connected.
We don't really raise crops here, no.
What do you raise?
He pats one of the big giant slugs on the back and he says,
We got a variety of slugs. We got carrion slugs. We got pet slugs. We got feeder slugs. Really, anything you need a slugs for.
Oh,
Sven will chime in. Have you ever had Waterdavian chicken?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's slugs.
Oh,
I had no idea.
Have you ever noticed you don't really see many chickens around Waterdeep? But every restaurant serves chicken.
that's because the slugs eat the chickens, right?
No, chickens are far too dirty and difficult to maintain in such a large city. We of Nomerdeep.
I love that.
It's a funny joke that we do. We raise large quantities of slugs for consumption.
Well, you know what? That's great too. So why do you need scarecrows then? Because I don't think the crows are eating the slugs, are they?
Exactly. We don't
Wow.
need scarecrows. That's the problem.
Oh.
Makes sense to me.
So scarecrows just showed up?
Indeed.
Yeah, they're not our scarecrows. That's the weird thing here, really.
They're much too big to tell you the truth.
The scarecrows or the slugs?
Oh, the scarecrows. The slugs are the perfect size.
Yeah, we got a variety of sizes, shapes, and colors. Any kind of slug you might need.
Okay.
See, the problem is, the scarecrows in and amongst themselves aren't bad because they keep the crows away, and the crows eat the poop, and then the slugs are supposed to eat the poop. That's what the slugs eat. So
What kind of poop?
their own poop. It's really a circle of life.
It's why the slugs are so efficient. They feed themselves.
Nice.
Yeah, that does sound efficient, at least.
And we eat these things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, they're a delicacy from where Burble's from.
Yeah, that's all. That's all we've ever known is slugs.
The bread ball stews. Most of those have chicken, right? The bread ball stews.
Yeah, I mean, chicken. Yeah, of course. Chicken bread bowl, stew. It's a Waterdavian chicken, man. I mean, yeah. We made Waterdavian chicken salad, and you put that in the bread bowl. You make chicken cordon bleu, which is like,
That's just a blue slug.
yeah. It's like,
Blue slug with regular cheese.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah. So, but hey, you know what? I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, I mean, you're a chef and you haven't noticed.
I guess that says something about the testament of these hard workers.
The quality of slug meat.
It is funny that the people of Waterdeep they seem to be so squeamish about all the slug meat that they eat, and in some ways it might be Waterdeep's best kept secret. But I don't see the reason. I think slugs are quite delicious.
So Burble was your name, right?
Yeah, Burble Brizzleband.
All right. So Burble Brizzleband. So you came up from the Underdark and you brought this whole idea of the slugger culture with you?
Yeah, we had a meeting of our leaders, and it was decided that we should come up here for more monies, and we bring our slug raising ways with us, and we combined with some of these hat-wearing gnomes. Yep. So
Sven takes off his little hat and gives a little tip. Yes, it's been almost 10 years, hasn't it, Burble, since we started our little community?
Seems like just yesterday I was teaching you how to milk a slug.
I love the slug milk.
How do you milk a slug? Are there slug udders?
Very carefully.
Yeah, they got these eye stalks on the top. You just milk those. It's mostly tears, actually, not really milk that you squeeze
It's
out.
tears and pus.
Yeah.
Wow. What a fascinating creature slugs are turning out to be. I had no idea.
Yeah. You always learn something. Maybe you'll find a special slug.
Yeah, I'm open-minded. I just, I just need to get that animal companion, so I'm not the laughing stock of my gnome
Slugs
town.
make the best companions. They never forget.
Nor do they ever remember.
No, yes. One cannot forget if you never knew anything.
Yes, Spork here has been with me since the late 80s. He's the big one with the green stripes on him.
Now, for pulling your wagon, I've never really thought of slugs as very quick animals. Does it take you a while to get anywhere?
Forever, yeah, basically.
They are quite strong, though.
Because they're just kind of like, they're all chicken muscle,
It's all muscle. That's why there's so much good, delicious meat on them. I'm sorry, I haven't had lunch yet.
Well,
would you like to meet your dinner?
Well, I mean, maybe you could tell us more about this scarecrow issue as we move forward to the center of the little town.
Yes, actually, Burble, it's great that I ran into you. I believe that we might need to convene the city council to to talk to these fine adventurers and hopefully finally put an end to this menace. I do see that you're kind of in the middle of something here, but could you meet us in town shortly?
Of course, I could give you all a ride if you want one. Just you have to sit back in there with the slug poop.
Oh, that would be excellent. Sven looks around. Is everyone? Would you like a ride?
No, I think I could just keep. I think I need to really stretch my legs.
Yeah, I think we might be a little bit faster on foot, to be honest.
That's true. It's not that hard to keep up with a slug.
Yeah, I'll see you back there in about an hour. That should take me that long to get 300 yards.
No problem, Burble. Sven guides you now into the center of town. You are seeing that there are large pens that at first you thought that these were fields of some sort, but as you get closer, you see that they're just these pens just filled to the brim with multicolored slugs of various sizes and shapes. And they're all just writhing and wriggling about in the filth and muck of these pens. Every once in a while, you will see a gnome come with a bucket of some sort of foul-smelling sludge, pouring it into the pins, and the slugs seem to become quite enamored with the sludge, and they wriggle about it. Quite frankly, everyone's tummy is rumbling, and you're getting quite hungry.
Oh boy, I can't wait to eat all this poo. I mean, this chicken.
Waterdevian chicken.
I'm just going to call it chicken from now on.
It's a little easier to swallow that way.
Oh, as Sven says, there's nothing easier to swallow than slug meat. It slides down. You don't even really need to chew it.
Cool.
He leads you into a larger building in the center of town. And he asks you to go inside, and there's just some tables, a hearth. It seems to be some sort of meeting place. He tells you, sit tight, and I will go gather the town council, and we can discuss what you could do for us. I can't thank you enough. We're so appreciative, and you're doing such a great service, not only for us, but for all of Waterdeep, because... quite frankly, without the slugs, I feel many people would go hungry.
Yeah, we can't have that. No, not on our watch. And we're gonna get paid. You got a little form of payment for us too?
Oh, absolutely. We quite frankly, business has been booming. The slug meat has almost completely taken over the market and has been found in almost every dish served in Waterdeep.
Fantastic.
They're so easy to raise, and they multiply so quickly.
They're
self-sufficient.
What's the lifespan on a slug?
Well, slugs can live almost indefinitely. They just keep growing. There's a sweet spot of when you want to harvest them.
Yeah.
Because once they get to a certain size, the meat can get a bit gamey.
But it makes sense that, gnomes with our long lifespan, that we would be hanging around slugs that also have a long lifespan. As bizarre as this is, it kind of makes sense.
Oh, yes. Hey, well, our kind of gnome, and he tips his little hat to you, Penny. In the forest, the slug culture is a little bit new to us. It's certainly something that was born in the Underdark, but I do say that it is something that I plan on bringing to the surface and spreading this culture far and wide. We were worried that the slugs wouldn't thrive up here on the surface, but they seem to enjoy the sunlight. Oh, I'm sorry. I digress. Let me go gather the council. You just sit here, relax, and we'll be back shortly. Sven then leaves you there in the council room.
So what do you guys think? These could be real scarecrows, animated scarecrows? Could these be a prank? Could someone be dressing up people in scarecrow outfits just to scare out the gnomes? Could it be, competitors? Maybe some other slug farmers are trying to get in on the business? What do you guys think?
This is all new to me. I mean, the only thing familiar here is a town council meeting, and I normally try to avoid those. Those are normally no good. Kavan, you ever been to a town council meeting?
No, I haven't.
You're
I didn't
lucky
grow
then.
up in a town. My people were. They lived out kind of like this, but even more away from the town.
Colder.
Yeah, it was a lot colder.
Nomads.
I just found out I wasn't eating chicken, so I'm processing that right now.
Chaz, you didn't learn about inanimated objects in school? Have
Well,
you haven't
I
heard
learned
anything
about
like
that, but I also learned about dressing up like stuff to scare, people who couldn't do anything about it and, ruin their livelihoods for no good reason other than my own amusement. But, so it could go either way on this one. I think we're just lucky that, no matter what's going on, we're probably going to be able to get away. I don't think scarecrows or slugs are very fast.
And Chaz, let me ask you this. Not to encourage you,
Huh?
but we got to keep in mind that scarecrows could be pretty flammable.
And last night I had a dream about fire coming out of my fingers, and I've been really wanting to use that, so you just let me know.
Okay, you got to wait for us to tell you though. You can't just.
It was just like that orc did. Did you see it? It was beautiful right before Dolan hurt that orc, and the flames were lighting up the room, and I could see the flames reflected in the orc's eyes, and just it consumed his eyes as the flames were coming out. And did you see that? No, you were on the floor. Oh my, yeah. I'm sorry, you were on the floor that time, but
Penny has
cool.
a look of regret
cool.
for even mentioning fire to Chaz.
But you're just gonna let me know, right? Chaz starts itching his face.
Yeah, Chaz, as you're going into this description, there's almost a smell in the air, and your cloak is smoking a little bit, and there's some little flames that are dancing on your fingertips that once you notice, you quickly put them out. But this idea certainly seems to excite you greatly.
Control is tricky, I'm telling you. Yeah.
After a little while, and you have this wonderful conversation of fire and slugs, the gnomes return. Burble comes in first, followed by Sven and three other gnomes. Two of them, obviously, from the Underdark, and another one wearing a giant conical hat. They all shake hands, greetings are exchanged, and then one of them, not Sven, this one with probably the biggest and whitest beard that you've seen on a gnome so far. He looks to be certainly in the twilight years of his life, but still spry, moving about quite well. He will chime in. Well, let's get this meeting started. Sven, we thank you for bringing to our fine town of Waterdeep these fine adventurers to help us with our terrible scarecrow problem. Have you given them all the information of what is occurring? No, I haven't yet. I thought we would probably just, get into. Well, very well, very well. Every night for the last 10 days, a group of animated, of weird creatures, heads made of pumpkin,
Okay.
bodies stuffed with straw,
my.
terrible long claws. They walk unnaturally, and they have been seen in our slug fields, and they are just willy-nilly slaughtering our poor slugs in such a way that our yield this month is going to be far less than it should be. And I fear retribution from the tavern guilds, for the demand for slug meat is very, very great.
So it only happens at night, you're saying?
This is true. They've never been seen in the daytime.
And where are they coming from? What direction? Do you know?
They have been coming from all directions. We've tried to track them, but their movements are erratic, and it has been very difficult.
Jerry, you haven't been trying enough. You send out only 2 little gods, and they don't even know what to do. They can't even see in the dark because you send out the ones with the hats. What are you doing, Jerry?
Point of inquiry: are they flammable?
I would imagine so. They do appear to have lots of straw upon them. Sven exclaims. Jerry will address Burble. Listen, Burble. We can't be sparing people to just go about walking about in the night. A gnome needs sleep.
Yeah, well, I sleep during the day if I need to, Jerry. You sleep 20 hours a day, you old huffer.
I'm 472 years old, Burble.
Yeah, well, you've been acting like this ever since I've known you.
When my age you reach, see how much you sleep, you will.
I hope I'm buried long and dead before then, Jerry, to get to be an old crotchety huffy puff like you.
Yes, so do I.
A motion to table this discussion.
Motion granted.
Motion to burn all the scarecrows. Do I have a second?
And I'm like, quit it.
Sven raises his hand. Oh, that sounds lovely.
So every single night they're just going to pop up. So let's just wait and see. I mean, you know that they're going to come tonight. Every night they're coming.
Yes, for the last 10 days they've arrived every night.
You know, I got one. I got one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, me and Spork was out because we couldn't trust Jerry to send actual gods out. So me and Spork went out for a little stroll the other night. Spork took good care of one of them.
Can we?
You want to see it?
Yeah.
I could show you. It's back in the stables. After they get to talking about raising the taxes and all the other things on the docket for this meeting anyway.
Well, Burble, since you seem so enthralled with this problem, I think we can excuse you and our fine adventures. And perhaps you can show them the remains that you found, and you can make plans to waylay these creatures this evening. All in favor of this motion? Aye!
Aye.
All right.
Move to adjourn.
The meeting is adjourned. The elderly gnome, Jerry, with a few of the others, they start talking about payments owed and how the sludge production is. And Burble and the party exit through the main door.
You know, Chaz, I was pretty impressed by how you navigated that meeting. You know, you knew all like the proper terms to like point of order and all that kind of stuff. It's all stuff you kind of learned that was a fancy school. You must have learned that at.
Oh yeah, you got to keep council meetings right on the tracks, otherwise those accusations start coming out. And I saw that start to happen there. Those gnomes were getting a little bit itchy and upset at each other. But you got to keep these things on the tracks, you know. You gotta move and point of order and point of clarification.
He just wants to burn stuff.
Yeah. That's the first time I got out of there in under 6 hours. For the city council, you are allowed to have a second that can stand in your place if you can't make a meeting. So, Chaz, you're going to be my second moving forward. And, I'll give you some free meats and stuff for helping me out. It's twice a month, always on Tuesdays. Thank you very much.
All right. I mean, I've been looking for a summer job. They tell me to find a summer job, so we'll see. We'll see.
We'll call it an internship.
Oh, yeah, they tell me that too. Oh, good.
Burble, I imagine you lead them back to your hut, your fine little abode in town, and is inside that where you have the remains of this scarecrow that you found?
Yeah, you see Burble lead the group towards the edge of town, and you see what you appear to assume is an outhouse. And he leads you up into the outhouse. It even has a little crescent moon on the door.
See, this is what no one bothers me. Occasionally people bother me and it's really smelly, but usually people don't bother me.
He opens the door, and you can see that it's been dug down into the ground, just like an outhouse would be, but it's at a slope, and it goes deeply underground, about 15 to 20 feet, and it opens up into a large single room. Inside this room, you can see a small cot. There's the remains of a sputtering fire at the center of the room, and there's still the wafting smoke up near the ceiling. There's a small bit of cooking utensils, pots and pans. Something is bubbling still at a makeshift kind of rusty iron stove. And you can see next to that stove, there is what appears to be the remains of the scarecrow.
You see, Spock, he just used his eye stalk and smashed him in the head. You can see the pumpkin's mostly broken. And if you take the head off, it appears to just make him go limp. So then I just dragged it down here to take a good look at it, and I poked it with my stick a few times, but that's about it.
Well, I guess I'm gonna do like a little I don't know, I guess an investigation. Like, I mean, maybe there could be like a knowledge nature, I don't know, some sort of
Maybe
knowledge
like an
check.
Arcana check to see if it's magic you're familiar with.
Well, I definitely don't have any Arcana.
So why don't Dolan, let's do two rolls. Dolan, you make an investigation check, and Chaz, you could do an Arcana to see what you remember of your lessons on animated creatures.
Got a 17.
Got a 15.
So the two of you working together discovered this. Chaz, you do remember that there was certainly a course that you took about animating creatures. Essentially, it was called Golems 101.
Oh, yeah.
There are a variety of ways one can go about creating a golem. You can make them from stone, from flesh, from wood. And it is certainly possible that they could have used this sort of artifice to animate anything in a roughly humanoid shape. It's not something you are super familiar with. I don't think you paid too much attention in that class. It's certainly possible that someone could animate something like this by an arcane means. Dolan, you are like investigating like what it's made of. The head was definitely a pumpkin, and it was it seemed like old clothes. They're not gnomish size. These would be would have fit like a normal adult male. There's a wooden frame inside of it that was sort of lashed together. There's several pieces that are lashed together. The odd thing is probably the hands. They're still quite intact, and it's almost like these hands grew out of the piece of wood that was used for the arm. The ends of them seem to be newer wood than the stalks of it. These terrible claws grew straight out of the wood.
Okay.
That would lead you to believe that some sort of growth magic was used.
Just for perspective, can I like touch the body of this scarecrow to see how sturdy it is? Because you said it's like lashed together. Like, see
Yes,
what we're up
yes, you
against?
I mean, it looks like a real scarecrow.
It does. It's really the feet and hands that are
Yeah.
more bizarre.
Yeah.
Because the feet are also the same sort of claw-like branches that almost appear to have grown out of the dead wood used for the frame. As you sort of inspect it, it does start to fall apart. You see that the wooden frame was just lashed together. It does not seem terribly stable. You think that in its current state, if you stood it up, it might completely come apart.
Okay, that gives me a little bit of a confidence of what we're up against. I think we could easily chop these fellas up.
That's one option. You could definitely chop them up, probably. Yeah.
Is there a fireplace in your house or your little?
Yeah. The middle of the room there. There's just a little fire pit that I use, but you can't put too much in it, otherwise we all get smoked out.
Right. I'm gonna break off a little piece and toss it towards the fireplace, and just stare at Chaz.
Chaz twitches a little bit, but carefully watches what happens.
The wood is certainly dry enough that it seems to take to the flame. The flame accepts your offering and increases in both power and brightness ever so slightly.
Now, Burble, how many scarecrows are coming every night? Hundreds?
No, not that many.
5? Like what are the numbers we're dealing with here?
Well, when I saw this one, it's pretty dark out, but I can see just fine. I saw at least a dozen, maybe 2 dozen, but they all spread out across the different pastures and in buildings that we keep the different kinds of slugs in. If I'm honest with you,
He kind of slowly looks to each of you and makes eye contact.
look, I think this thing here is bigger than just some scarecrows. I think this is an inside job, and I'm glad that we got rid of that other little sucker Sven, because I don't know he's not in on it, if I'm being upfront with y'alls. Because, listen, nobody doesn't like us. Everyone loves to get their slugs. Everyone pays us on time. It's never had any problems.
So you're thinking gnome on gnome crime?
Yes. 100%. That's what's happening. Somebody in this village knows what's up, and I think they's behind it.
I've never heard of such a thing in gnome culture. That's not like us.
Yeah, well, it's a big, slimy, slug-filled world up here, lady. And I'm telling you, these gnomes are as slimy as these slugs.
Well, have you told any of your anybody else about your suspicions?
Look, I'm not 100% sure who I can even trust yet. So when I heard Sven was going to go find some outsiders, I thought, great, finally, we get some people I know doesn't have nothing to do with this. So I don't really know yet. I just kind of been piecing this together myself. So I've been waiting for you guys to come here.
Well, I mean, who brought up the idea of bringing in outsiders?
It wasn't a unanimous decision by the council, I'll say's that.
Yeah, Jerry was very much against it.
Yeah.
Jerry, the old man? The old gnome? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, okay. I don't know. I'm trying to think about how deep this conspiracy can go. And what do they have for gain? What do they have to gain for destroying their village's livelihood? I don't know. Do you think they have interests in, hell, I don't know, crab meat that they're trying to replace the... or maybe there's pill bugs. There's a pill bug interest. Or I don't know. Why would they want to do this to the town?
Yeah, I hear maggots is the next big thing. But anyway, that's not what we're getting at here. Listen, y'all are pretty astute in investigating things. I'm sure you've done this dozens of times before. So I don't need to tell you how to be great officers of the law. However, you may notice in this town, there's 2 kinds of gnomes. There's the gnomes that taught the raising and the selling of the slugs. And there's the gnomes,
He looks side-eyed at Penny,
that learned all of our secrets from generations, and now I think they's trying to get us out of here.
So you think the other gnomes were using the Underdark gnomes? Is that what you're implying?
No, I don't think anything started off as such. I think it was all upfront and good gnome on gnome love at the beginning.
As it should be.
As it should be. Amen to that. But then something happened. Okay, they got greedy. I think they learned all of our secrets. Now they know all the things that I learned from my grandpappy, but not my pappy, never met him either, and all the generations of gnomes before me. And he taught me how I raise all these different kind of slugs. I'm a slug farmer by trade, and now I think that I've taught all these nice little forest gnomes everything that I knows. They trying to get me and my kin rushed out of here so they get all the profits for themselves. I really hope I'm not wrong about this, because I'm going to look like an ass.
Are all the farms getting attacked equally? Or are some farms losing more slugs?
Oh, that's a good question. I have not investigated that myself.
The question that I put forth to the party is, what do you want to do? We have established that it's at night that the scarecrows arrive.
Yeah.
What sort of investigating or preparations do you think you should all do this day before night falls?
We got to decide which neighborhoods we're going to protect. That's what we got to decide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which neighborhoods to kind of just let what happens, and which neighborhoods we're actually going to, protect. That's what we got to decide.
Could we potentially set some traps? Maybe try to stop the scarecrows before they even get to the slugs? Some snares or some sort?
Yeah, where are they coming from? That would be even better if we just knew where they were, and then we could just burn them all at once. That would be amazing, actually.
I think what we'll have to do is make it through the night, see if we can track where they're coming from.
It's going to be so tempting to do something else when we see a scarecrow, but
No, I'm saying
Penny probably could track one back to its home.
All. No, we'll kill them all.
All but one, maybe?
No, but I'm saying all we got to do is, in the morning, see where the tracks are coming from into the farm. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously they have to walk from someplace to get to the farm.
And you would think their tracks are probably pretty distinct with these weird little claws.
Yeah, and the thing is, let's be honest, it's just a bunch of farmers. No, there's no trained wooden rangers like Penny here. I'm sure Penny could do a much better job tracking.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Oh, you're a ranger, is yes?
Mm-hmm. And actually, I know you assume that forest gnomes don't have dark vision, but I have dark vision. I think I could be of a lot of help here.
That would be perfect. Say, I am also a practitioner of the rangorial arts.
Wow, and you ended up a farmer? Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of uses for our skills. My grandpappy taught me these as well. That when you're under there with so many different tunnels to go through, you sometimes get lost, and that's where I can help find.
Yeah, so were your parents rangers as well? I learned from my family.
Penny, no, Penny.
Oh, never mind. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
Well, I think maybe right now, before it gets dark, we should find out which farms are being attacked.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's it.
I agree with Kavan about this.
It took me a while to figure it out, but I got it.
All right, so the two things that I gathered from that is we're going to do some investigating, speaking with some of the farmers. And Penny, you are going to try and devise some sort of traps.
Yeah, I think maybe we figure out the farms that are being hit hardest and then set some traps around those farms to protect these cute little slugs.
Yeah, so cute.
So cute.
So slimy.
So slimy.
Yeah.
All right, how do you want to pursue investigating these attacks.
Maybe split up. Maybe Kavan and I can go from house to house, find out some stuff about the places that are getting attacked, and maybe Penny and Chaz can start to gather up materials for making traps.
I can communicate with small beasts. Could I don't know how intelligent the slugs are. Could I potentially ask Burbl's slug if he has any insight of where to start?
I think
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a great idea.
You can certainly talk to Spork all you like. He is quite astute for a slug.
Wonderful. For a slug. Okay. Yeah, I would love to speak with Spork. Ask him if just a couple questions. Where is he outside? He's back outside.
Oh, he's probably up there by now. We've been down here a bit, but yeah, he's probably up outside. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
He gets caught up with us.
Yeah.
All right, the party leaves Burbl's cozy, if perhaps a bit smelly, hole in the ground, and you do see good old Spork. As he moves, he leaves a trail of sludge behind, and he has now like turned around, and he seems to be licking up the sludge that he has left behind.
Nice.
With a very large purple and somewhat Barbie looking. No, that's not a word.
Barbed?
Barbed looking tongue.
There's just a Barbie doll at the end of his mouth.
Yeah, my brain immediately went pink.
Oh yeah, it is pink. So yeah,
Oh, okay. Cute.
that works. Penny, you approach Spork. He does not stop licking up his sludge, but one eye stalk just kind of turns and focuses on you, Penny.
And I'm gonna approach him and I'm gonna be like, "Whoa there!" And I'm gonna give him like a little pat on his haunches, like you would like a nice horse or a nice dog. Yeah, I kind of like recoil and wipe my hand off as I realize how slimy the fella
It is
is.
a bit slimy.
It's a bit slimy, yeah, for sure. And I'm like, "Hello, Spork. It's nice to officially meet you. My name is Penelope, and we're trying to help you and the other slugs. I was wondering if you knew anything about the scarecrows, where they're coming from."
You lace these words with your connection to nature and tap in and are casting Speak with Animals, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Excuse me? Did you understand the question?
Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah.
Can you tell us where the scarecrows are coming from? Can you point, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Could you take us to where you've seen the most scarecrows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, how about we go there?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. He like slowly turns around
Yeah.
and starts moving.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and so we're going to where you've seen the most scarecrows?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So for these yes or no questions, you're getting a lot of yeses.
And I'm relaying this to my friends. I'm like, I'm not sure that I'm getting a ton out of this guy. He seems willing to help, but let's just see where Spork takes us. Do you have a question you want me to ask Spork?
I mean, it's like, how does he feel? Like, this is a farm. He lives on a farm that makes slugs to get eaten and slaughtered, but he's also a slug.
Well, he's a work slug, though. He's got a
Yeah.
good life.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, how does he feel? I mean, does he know that everybody's dying around him?
As we're walking very slowly with Spork, I assume we're, like, moving at a slug's pace, you would say. I'm just going to ask him, Spork, are you happy here?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you that's the least like sure you've sounded? Are you sure you're okay? Do you need to leave this place?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna like turn to Dolan and like there's one like kind of guilty tear just rolling down my face, and I was like, I think you're right. I don't think he's very happy here.
It's so funny. I mean, Dolan's not laughing. It's me who's laughing.
Maybe you need to ask him a question that you know he's gonna say no to.
Ooh, they don't like salt, right?
or beer? Or they like beer. They like beer too much, I think.
I don't know. I just know snails and salt don't mix. But I've never heard about beer. Ask him about beer.
Spork, do you ever drink any beer? Do you like beer?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh.
How about salt? Do you like salt on your
Well, he knows the difference.
Yeah. At this point I assume we've been walking for a while. Have we
Yes,
made much
yes.
progress?
The conversation continues as such.
Riveting
but,
conversation.
You soon come to a giant slug pin. This one filled almost to the brim with several purple, red, and blue slugs.
So do slugs make any sound? Like, I'm imagining if it was like a cow pen, we'd be hearing moos. I mean, are these slugs making any noises?
So there is certainly noises coming from the pin. They are slimy noises. They're not so much like vocalizations.
Yeah, you can just hear the slime.
Or mouth sounds. Boy, it's really hard to keep this one PG-13.
I'm imagining gross sounds.
So yes, there is a sound, more a smell than anything else. The excrement and sludge is pungent, but not entirely unpleasant. There's an earthiness to it.
And are these slugs as big as Spork, or is
No,
Spork's
I
kind
would
of...
say these are about the size of like one's forearm. They are
little baby slugs.
Yeah, they're definitely on the smaller size. But as you've been informed, apparently it's these brand of Underdark slugs. They just keep growing until they don't anymore.
Yeah, these here is feeder slugs. These is free range feeders. So we let them grow for 6 weeks approximately, and then they're the perfect size.
Yeah, they're about the size of a chicken cutlet.
Perfect. Yeah, not even much processing needed. I feel weird about this information since I've been talking to Spork, but just to confirm, I asked Spork again. I'm like, so this is where you've seen the most scarecrow activity?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there a house nearby, or like can we see who like the dwelling around here?
Yes, there is a gnomish dwelling not too far off from this particular pen.
Whose farm is this, Burble?
Oi, this one is owned by Frizzlecap.
Is he like you, or is he like the hat-wearing gnome?
She wears
me.
a nice feathered cap.
Oh wow, sounds lovely.
Are you good? Are you good friends with Frizzlecap?
Yeah, I'd say so. She taught me how to make a slug bowl, which is delicious. You see, all you do,
And he grabs one of the slugs. He's like,
you just pull off the stalks, and then you dig out the insides.
I'm gonna cover Spork's eyes as he's doing this.
and then he has what looks like a deflated big balloon in his hands at this point.
And then you got a nice receptacle. And then you just stuff in the cooked slug meat. In here, you put it in the oven at 350 for 45 minutes.
So like it's like a sausage. It's like a slug sausage. You know what? Dolan pays attention pretty closely to this, for future, references, notes, and stuff. Do you recommend any special spices? Should I just treat this like a chicken, or maybe like a
We
parsley, a bodo?
I'm pretty in love with turmeric these days. If you can find it.
Okay, all right. Now, do you know if there's? Okay, I'm sorry. Let's. Whose house is this? Fizzlecap. Okay. Dolan was getting a little preoccupied. He started thinking about dessert slugs and all this stuff. Yeah.
As
sorry.
Burble and Dolan go into the intricacies of slug culinary arts, you do see a fetching middle-aged gnomish woman come out of the hovel wearing a large conical red hat that has a big white plume of some sort of very large bird that is coming out of it. Not a traditional way to adorn a cap, but
No, not at all.
it's quite fetching. She sees well, I guess we could say 6 of you. Spork counts. And she quickly greets you. Oh, hello! Isn't it nice to see you? How you doing, Burble?
I'm doing just fine, Frizzlecap. You look awfully beautiful today.
Oh, aren't you just the sweetest thing, Burble? And who are your friends you've brought with you?
Oh, these was the adventurers I was talking about that we really needed, because all of your slugs just keep getting squished and stuff. And they's doing some investigating work, and I thought maybe, since your place is where the most the scarecrows has been seen, maybe you could help them out.
Oh, 'tisn't that the truth? My pin should be overflowing by now, and it's barely at half full.
Plus, Burble just killed one of them. Burble just killed one of the ones that didn't get killed by the scarecrows.
Oh, just killing one isn't the problem. These scarecrows are tearing them all up. We're having to turn them all into feed before they're big enough.
I just got this one to show them how to make stuffed slug. Here, you can have it for supper. Here you go. Frizzle.
Oh, aren't you the sweetest thing? She is wearing an apron, and she stuffs the husk into the apron. That'll make a nice little slug sausage later tonight.
Can I do an insight check to see if there's something maybe going on with Frizzle and
Ooh,
Frizzlecap and Burble?
Okay.
They seem like they're really hitting it off.
Okay, yeah. Give me an insight check.
Yeah, Penny got a 10.
Better than a 9.
So there is definitely some flirtation here, but you'd have to probably spend a little bit more time to really delve into what the state of their relationship is. But they're definitely very friendly and flirtatious.
Okay. Just trying to piece it together, see if there's any relationships or reasons that some gnome would be sabotaging another.
Is there anything you want to know about the scarecrows? There was about, I would say, at least 4 of them that showed up last night. It was terrifying. I stayed inside my hovel. I was too scared to go out. They have long claws. Terrible.
Do you know what other farms might have been receiving the brunt of the attack of the scarecrows besides your own?
It seems like they've been focusing on the feeder slugs more than anything else. The ones that we would actually be sending in to Waterdeep.
Frizzlecap, would you say that before this happened, were you one of the top producing slug farmers, or?
Well, I don't like to talk about myself in that way, but if I had to, gun to my head, crossbow to my head, hand crossbow to my head, I'd have to say I produce the most feeder slugs of anyone else in town, for sure.
Yeah, I just wonder if someone's potentially trying to cast these scarecrows against you. They're trying to come for your thriving slug business.
You mean this is malicious intent and not some
Not sure.
naturally occurring thing? I thought that maybe just Waterdeep has natural bands of roaming scarecrows that maybe just come about, and you have to. It's a weird place, that city. Have you ever been inside, darling? I hate going inside. I like staying just out here on the farm.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I've been. I definitely prefer the forest, but it does have some things to offer. Hopefully, best case scenario, you're right. They're just wandering scarecrows, but at this stage, as responsible adventurers and investigators, we just have to pursue all the possible options.
I'm gonna say to Kavan, I think Sven did it. I think it was Sven.
Maybe. I mean, why would he bring us here, though?
It's all part of the trick.
Could be. Could be.
Frizzlecap, your production has definitely gone down.
Oh, considerably.
Stop eating the slugs.
I'm afraid that we won't even meet our quota this month.
And what happens if you can't meet the quota?
I don't know. It's never happened before. I'm sure we won't get paid. At least not what we're supposed to. I fear that the tavern guilds might seek other sources of subsistence. Imagine if they bring chickens back. Oh.
Well, I guess Frizzlecap, thank you for your information so far. And I guess we'll pop by here if we had any more questions. That's okay.
All right, let's hop to what are the traps going to look like?
I think making, I'm going to gather up some twine. I assume some of these farmers will probably have some twine they can loan to me. And I'm going to set up kind of like trip wires, since they're kind of tall and wiggly. I feel like they're the type of creatures that might trip and fall and, I don't know, break some of their stick limbs.
The pumpkin could break too.
Yeah.
And if their pumpkin breaks, then
they die. Yeah.
All right, so you go about placing tripwires, using your craft to hide them.
Sorry, real quick. You think we should focus on the feeder farms? Because if we think the feeder farms are getting hit more, maybe we should try to focus our trap efforts around there.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Focusing on the feeder farms, you set up these tripwires throughout, informing the party of their locations so that they don't accidentally trip. That would be terrible. We'll fast forward this a little bit. You do speak to several of the other feeder farms, and their stories all are very similar to Fizzlecap's. That production's down. They seem to be focusing on the feeder slugs that are to be set into Waterdeep. Preparations are laid. The sun is beginning to set. Do you choose Fizzlecap's farm for where you want to set up this evening?
I would like
You
to.
would? Yeah, okay. It's probably a good idea. Now, is Burble going to be with us tonight? We can invite him to come.
Why, sure I could help out here tonight. I'm sure Spork seems to really have a connection here with this Penny fella. So I think that, we can help out. In fact,
he sees that Penny is setting up traps, and he walks over, and he grasps, he's got a little necklace with what looks to be some kind of a snail shell on the necklace. And he says,
watch this one. This one my grandpappy taught me.
And he mutters something under his breath, and in a big circle on the ground, it starts to glow purple. And you can see like a snare trap come from the ether and glow purple around in the ground. And then
Wow.
it disappears. He says,
I wouldn't step there tonight if I was yous. We'll catch one for sure.
Now, should we hide out in Frizzlecap's farmhouse, or should we maybe put some camouflage on ourselves and sit outside with the slugs? What do you guys feel good about? Kavan's a large person to hide, but we could try to cover him with some leaves and other slugs, perhaps.
That's a great idea. I think we should all disguise ourselves as slugs. We just hollow them out and get in the inside.
Like a tauntaun.
And you think they smell bad on the outside.
Yeah, I'd like to see where they're coming from, and if we're inside, we might not find that out.
Good point. Good point.
You could fashion some sort of duck blind
Yeah.
or a slug blind.
A scarecrow blind. That's like a hunting thing where you crawl up into a big box.
Yeah, you essentially make a little space for you, and you you camouflage it.
I could potentially cast a minor illusion to make myself look like a slug, so I could stay on the ground.
Ooh, I
Nice.
like that.
I could hang out with Spork.
Love it.
I mean, are there trees around that I could climb up and just kind of hang out in a tree?
So the area around the slug pens are pretty cleared away from trees. There are certainly trees beyond, but they're hundreds of yards away.
What about like a thick bush? Can I just hide in a bush?
So you could imagine this is very cleared out grassy land. So anything that you're going to hide in, you would have to fashion yourself.
We could always ask Frizzlecap if we could just hang out inside a house and look out the windows.
I'm fine. I'm fine sitting inside. Maybe I can work on the dessert, the slug dessert that's in my mind. Just holler if you need me, okay?
Something I'm wondering about is what's the ceiling height like in Frizzlecap's house? Because I don't think we're going to get Kavan in there.
It's not terribly high. Kavan would have to crouch inside there. So I see like Kavan making himself a camouflage lean-to outside.
Yeah.
We have Penny illusioned as a slug near Spork, and then the other three of the party can cozy up in fizzle caps and be able to see out of her many windows. She likes seeing daylight in the morning.
I actually have disguise self, so I think I'm gonna wait till nightfall and then turn into a scarecrow and just stand.
Oh.
My plan is to kind of hide behind Kavan's hideout then, and as soon as we hear anything suspicious, I'm gonna turn into a scarecrow, put my arms out, and start like walking around the pens.
Everyone is set up. Hot cocoa is consumed by all. Fizzlecap even brings a little cup out. Well, actually, a pretty big cup out to Kavan and Chaz. And she says, "Oh, I just didn't want you to get cold out here. Thank you so much for doing this. There's cinnamon in it. It's nice."
What direction do they usually come from? Or when you saw them come the other night?
Oh, I've never noticed that.
Weird.
About midnight, about the witching hour, Kavan, you are the first one to see a wooden claw pierce the ground not too far away from the slug pen. And it grabs the grass and pushes and pulls itself forth, and you see a bulbous pumpkin head with a worn hat upon its brow and a terrifying bony wooden amalgamation of limbs, straw, and cloth pull itself forth from the ground as this creature seems to come straight out of the earth.
What? Pumpkin and everything?
Yeah, as this happens, you see two other similar creatures burst from the ground. At this point, they have pulled themselves out of the ground and they're menacingly moving towards the pen of feeder slugs. Will our characters survive their encounter with these terrible abominations of pumpkin and straw? Find out next time on the 20-Sided Realms.
Wizard needs food badly.
Intro music composed by Symphonikev, and again, the soundscapes created by Sirenscape.com. Thank you so much for listening to the 20-Sided Realms. If you liked what you heard, please share it with others. Until next time.